Good evening. Now let's talk business. All is now set for the 2015 edition of the annual Economic Summit on Private and Public Sectors Development. Organizers of the conference, the Nigeria Economic Summit Group and the National Planning Commission, unveiled details of the summit at a briefing today in Lagos. The upcoming 21st edition of the program is expected to bring up dialogue on the weakening post-oil Nigerian economy. Channel's business correspondent Temple Ashaju reports.
Organizers of the 21st edition of the Nigerian Economic Summit laying bare details of the conference scheduled for October the 13th to 15th. The public and private sector's joint effort is themed this year's meeting as tough choices, achieving competitiveness, inclusive growth and sustainability.
This is consistent with the aspirations of the present administration's change agenda and the medium-term successor strategic plan 2016 to 2020, which focused on fighting corruption, addressing unemployment, addressing insecurity, undertaking institutional reforms, economic growth, and development.
The summit this year will also give attention to curbing corruption in all sectors of Nigeria's economy, a strategy that members of the organizing committee expect to impact on the sustainable development goals of the United Nations.
So long as people take undue advantage of the system, so long as people misuse whatever position and opportunities they have to the detriment of the general interest of the people, we're still not going to go there, which is why we think we should give it some focus.
The credit facilities, the agri facilities, the SME funds and all of that, sometimes they end up in the hands of those who are not even in those sectors. And these are the things that we need to work on.
Government is faced with lots of deliverables and limited resources. The NESG, being a public and private sector platform, we believe is an important place where we can actually discuss what are the tough choices that we need to make.
The 2015 Economic Summit will witness a policy dialogue with President Muhammadu Buhari. It's billed to hold at the Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. Temple Ashaju, Channels Business News.
The Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas will have its own corporate head office in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, in the next 30 months. During the groundbreaking ceremony, the Chief Executive Officer of the NLNG Limited, Mr. Babs Omotowa, said the plan has been in the pipeline since 2011 and the company is indeed happy with the development. The Nigerian LNG company supplies LNG in the Atlantic Basin, serving the European, South America and Far East markets. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Ere, reports.
Security is tight as the management and staff of Nigeria LNG Limited, their allies in the oil and gas industry, traditional rulers, the state governor and his team converge on the company's project site in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The occasion is a groundbreaking ceremony for the commencement of the construction of Nigeria LNG's corporate head office. After a few speeches, then the ceremony is conducted by the state governor.
On our part, we promise to provide you with support that you may need to secure the construction site and ensure that work goes on smoothly. We do appreciate the management of Nigeria LNG for the various intervention projects the company is undertaking in East Coast and impacted communities, especially on Body Island.
The managing director of Nigeria LNG says the project is a product of years of careful planning.
We've been working on this since 2011. We had to acquire more land, we had to do a lot of due diligence and tender via an open process. So we're very pleased that we now can start the construction and we'll be able to now have our own proper head office that will be, an edifice that really indicates what we are, excellence, and will indicate the kind of value that we bring to society.
For some, the project is homecoming.
for any of us from Africa, any time that you're not able to have built your own home in your own village, as it were, then you don't feel like you have accomplished a sense of fulfillment. That's how we feel now that we are beginning to build in Rivers, which we believe is truly our home, where we belong.
According to the management of the Nigeria LNG, this is a 95,450 square meters of land area where the corporate head office is expected to be sitting in about 30 months. They say, come rain, come shine, this project brings them closer to the people. Emmanuel Ere, Channels Television News.
We now turn our attention to the local bourse. The losing streak at the equities market was sustained on Thursday as investors sell off more shares despite recovery in the global equities space. Bolaji Akinwale updates us with what is left of the market indicators.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The downslide at the Nigeria equities market continued on Thursday as the all-share index slipped by 1.60% to close at 29,393.77 points. The gainers table was led by bank and conglomerate stocks. Stanbic IBTC put 1 naira 20 kobo. International Brewers gained 85 kobo, while Guaranty Trust Bank recorded 22 kobo. On the decliners table, Nestle shed 9 naira 79 kobo from its share price. It comes ahead of Dangote Cement, which lost 8 naira 70 kobo, and Seplat with 7 naira 25 kobo. Again, bank stocks dominated the activity chart. Zenith Bank, UBA, and Axis Bank were the top players in that category. When the closing bell rang, investors had exchanged 273.6 million shares at the value of 2.8 billion naira in 3,733 deals. And that is on the Stock Market Report. I am Bolaji Akinwale.
Thank you, Bolaji. Let's take a look at more figures from the global equities markets.
Welcome to Sports News. Nigeria's men's volleyball team have started their African Games campaign with a 3-0 victory over Botswana. Coach Austin Odomu's team won all 3 sets, 25-18 in the first, 25-16 in the second, and 25-12 in the third. Earlier, the women's team also recorded a 3-0 victory in their first game against Mozambique. Nigeria's volleyball team will return to action on Sunday. The men will tackle Zambia, while the women will play Algeria. In football, Super Eagles striker Anthony Uja says the team has the strike force that can cause Tanzania sleepless nights in this weekend's 2017 AFCON qualifier in Dar es Salaam. The Werder Bremen forward says he has been motivated by the intensified training in Abuja, and his team are ready to pick all 3 points.
From the training we've had so far, I'm very positive that goal chances will not be a problem for us, because we have players who can cause a lot of problem for the defensive, both from the wings and also from the midfield as well. So so far we are doing very good in training. We are working really hard. We're getting the message, the tactics of the coach.
Well, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will head to this weekend's African Cup of Nations qualifier against the Taifa Stars of Tanzania as the 9th playing nation in the continent and the 53rd in the world. The Super Eagles remain unchanged in the monthly FIFA World Ranking released today by the World Football Governing Body FIFA in Zurich, Switzerland. The Desert Foxes of Algeria retain the top spot in the continent on the 19th spot in the world. African champions Côte d'Ivoire and the Black Stars of Ghana are 21st and 27th in the world. Tunisia and Senegal complete the continent's top 5. Red Devils of Congo, the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, and the Pharaohs of Egypt complete the top 10 playing nations in Africa. And in global football administration, South Korean FIFA presidential candidate Chung Moon-joon has accused the Asian Football Federation of sending unsolicited letters to its members urging them to support his rival Michel Platini at next year's election. Chung says the letters asked members to sign a form pledging their support for Platini, the head of European soccer's governing body UEFA. Chung said the letters were in breach of FIFA's election guidelines and threatened to undermine the fairness of the poll, which will be held on February the 26th, 2016.
AFC has sent unsolicited letters to almost every AFC member associations. Most of the AFC member countries, including China, Japan, Mongolia, India, and Singapore, received this letter. South Korea and Jordan, however, did not. Given that confederations exercise tremendous influence over its member associations in organizing football tournaments and through administrative oversight, it is clear that the fairness of the FIFA presidential election has been seriously compromised.
That's it on Sports News. It's back to Bimbo with the rest of the news at 10.
Thank you, Charles. Now, on the foreign scene, scuffles have broken out west of the Hungarian capital, Budapest, after police tried to force migrants off a train at a refugee camp. Here's Cynthia Are with more details.
Well, thank you. The train had left Budapest hours after police let migrants into the railway station following a two-day standoff. Meanwhile, there have been sharp disagreements among European leaders over how to deal with the crisis. Then China has held a lavish parade in Beijing to mark the defeat of Japan in World War II, showcasing its military might in unprecedented scale. In his speech, President Xi Jinping paid tribute to the Chinese people who unwaveringly fought hard and defeated aggression from Japan. Also today, the bodies of 10 Ugandan soldiers killed in Somalia by militant Islamist group Al-Shabaab have been flown back home. Finally, and on a symbolic note, a new report by a Fraser Bank and New World Wealth suggests that South Africa has the highest number of dollar millionaires in Africa. In the report, Johannesburg alone is home to 23,400 millionaires. South Africa has 30% of the total, and Egypt's Cairo comes in second with 10,200, with Nigeria's Lagos coming in third with 9,100. That's the foreign news wrap-up. It's back to you, Bimbo.
Thank you, Cynthia. And the main news again. The Nigerian army has offered renewed hope on the decimation of Boko Haram, insisting that the terrorist group will not last beyond December. Army spokesman Colonel Sani Usman, who offered this assurance, also announced the reinstatement of over 3,000 soldiers earlier dismissed from combat duty in the northeast. More clarifications have been offered on the compulsory retirement of former DSS spokesperson Marilyn Oga. The service explained that she was sent packing due to alleged partisanship and professional misconduct. And President Muhammadu Buhari and his deputy, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, have declared their assets. The president's only bank account had less than 30 million naira in it, and the VP has no landed property other than 3 homes. And that brings us to the end of the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Do keep your date again tomorrow. I'm Bimbo Loede. Have a very good night.